You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, let's talk about Sean Payton and Russell Wilson and Team 3. Team 3? What is that? What is that? Team 3. I never heard this shit until yesterday. And I got to tell you, I'm like, wait a minute. So in the last six to 8 months, we've probably done 50 Russell Wilson / Broncos / Nathaniel Hackett / Sean Payton videos on this channel because we've covered very extensively the dumpster fire that has been the Broncos, particularly Russell Wilson. And this is the first of hearing about Team 3. Point of fact, it was the first Sean Payton had heard of Team 3. He was like, we're not doing that. And we're going to cover that. But I was like, wow. So let's just get everybody caught up on that right quick. Yeah, Russell Wilson's team, or Team 3, as it's known. This is hitc.com. Never heard of that either. Refers to the Broncos QB's team of personal coaches that looks after him and follows him around. Oh my God, you can't make this up. Russell Wilson's performance team were allegedly allowed inside team headquarters last season, which isn't the norm and is thought to have created rifts in the Broncos camp. You think? Team 3 is called that because Wilson wears the number 3 jersey, with the phrase Team 3 used to describe him and his entourage. So Russell Wilson thinks he's TB12 and The Rock, I guess. Wilson even has his own company and website called 3 Brand. Okay. So now that we're caught up on that, look, we knew he had an office and his own parking space and that teammates couldn't really seem to relate to him because it seemed that he had put himself above the team, which is not a great place to be, right? And on top of that, he played like shit. Okay, let's just keep it real. Played like total and complete dog shit last season. So, and they were losing. So all of this is an elixir towards a train wreck, right? So yesterday, of course, we've got Super Bowl day going on, media day, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, Sean Payton was also introduced as the Broncos head coach officially. And this is what he said about essentially Team 3, which Sean Payton really hadn't heard of, to be honest with you. Neither had I. Sean Payton won't allow Russell Wilson's personal coach at the Broncos facility. Not going to take place here. And I love how nonchalant Payton was about this, but so direct enough that this is not even open to negotiation and or a conversation. Russell Wilson's personal coach, Jake Heaps, joined the Denver Broncos quarterback in his move from Seattle to Denver last season. This guy was a radio disc jockey, by the way. A sports guy, okay? Doing what I do. He was talking sports in Seattle. There's no shame in that, man. Hey, hats off to you. That's a great career. But he had also played high-level college football, and so he became sort of like a personal quarterback's coach to Russell Wilson outside the framework of the actual Broncos coaching staff? Question mark. He attended last season's off-season's training camp, but won't have access to the Broncos facility under Sean Payton. He's getting boxed out. The Broncos officially introduced their new head coach Monday, and he was asked about Heaps and his access. He responded that he's, quote, unfamiliar with the practice, but it won't continue under his leadership.
On the 30-second
Coach, Russell Wilson had a personal coach, Jake Heaps, in the building with access who wasn't on the staff.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that.
How do you feel about players having their own people off the staff in the building, access to the players?
Yeah, that's foreign to me. That's not going to take place here. I mean, I'm unfamiliar with it, but our staff will be here, our players will be here, and that'll be it.
So, That's not going to take place here. That's not going to take place here. Oh God, I love that. Sean Payton. This is going to be so interesting this next season. I mean, this next season can't get here quick enough because it's either going to work or, man, he is going to absolutely rip Wilson apart. One of the other. Wilson's first season in Denver was a disaster. The 9-time Pro Bowler had the worst season of his career as a Broncos team with Super Bowl aspirations. Can you imagine that at this point? Flamed out at 5-12. Denver averaged a league worst 16.9 points per game with a tepid offense that rated midseason as one of the worst in the history of football. It goes on to talk about Nathaniel Hackett did not survive. And in case you were wondering who Jake Heaps was, he's a former quarterback at BYU, Kansas, and Miami. And he spent some time as a practice squad guy with the Seahawks, a quarterback, an actual quarterback. And he was on the practice squad of the CFL's BC Lions, and he worked as Seattle sports radio host. He quit his job to be Russell Wilson's full-time quarterbacks coach. So I love that Sean Payton just shut this down. Now, look, Russell Wilson's got a real opportunity here. So what I did was I went and pulled up Drew Brees, all right? And look, Russell Wilson's going to make the Hall of Fame. But Russell Wilson, at least right now, if he walked off into the sunset, you would be like, yeah, Russell's a Hall of Famer. But you would at least have some pause, right? Now, when you think of Drew Brees, you're like, and regardless of how Drew Brees sort of ended with some of his Jacob Blake crap and all that personal crap that he got into, when I think about Drew Brees, without a doubt, I'm like, okay, Drew Brees is first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He's going to walk right into the Hall of Fame. So I got to looking at Russell Wilson's age and then at how much longer Drew Brees played from Russell Wilson's age on. And I've got to tell you, there's a lot of historic potential quarterback play there. Okay, and we can just go down here and look. Russell's 34 now. So, you know, how does this compare? You can tell that when Drew Brees hit 38, Sean Payton got with Drew Brees, and he sort of reinvented himself. He did. He changed the way he played quarterback. The touchdowns dropped, but the interceptions dropped a lot. Okay, you see all this double-digit action, and then it went 8, 5, 4, 6. Quit turning the ball over. Okay, at 38, 4,300 yards. All right, led the league completion percentage. 39, a hair under 4,000 yards, and he actually missed a game, or he would have hit 4,000 yards. And then he played 11 and 12 games respectively. Once again, if he played the whole season, he would have flirted with 4,000 yards again. And at 40, he threw 27 touchdowns. At 39, 32 touchdowns. All right? I mean, 39 years old, and Drew Brees finished second in the MVP voting. All right? 40 years old, Pro Bowler. All right? So, it would behoove. Oh, man, I haven't used I haven't used that word in a while in a video. It would behoove Russell Wilson to sort of listen to whatever in the hell Sean Payton's got to say, right? And try to straighten this thing out, because I got to be real. This is it. I think this is it for Russell. If Sean Payton cannot fix you, you're done in the NFL. There's no way around it. Sean Payton is a known quarterback guru. And if he can't straighten you out, nobody can. Now, I will argue Jim Harbaugh could have straightened him out too. Okay, but I think Jim Harbaugh would have reined Russell way in, and he would have created more of a Alex Smith version of Russell Wilson. Okay, touchdowns would have probably been lower, but interceptions would have dropped way down, and turnovers dropped way down. And they would have played that hard running game. Same style they play at Michigan. Same style. He played at San Francisco, right? And they won a lot of games, made a Super Bowl that way. So this is what Sean Payton came out to say, okay, about trying to turn this around. The question will be conclusively resolved in 2023, talking about whether or not Wilson has lost his fastball, because new coach Sean Payton isn't going to do anything that Wilson can't do well. Quote, "It wasn't the type of season he wanted to have," Payton said Monday when describing Wilson's 2022 campaign. Via the transcript of the introductory press conference provided by the team, "I feel like the last couple of weeks we saw a little bit more of maybe what we were expecting or accustomed to. He was much better the last couple of weeks of the season. He was. I say we, meaning you all when you signed them. I think the number one job for us as coaches in evaluating our players is deciding what are the things they do really well. Then let's try to put them in those positions. At least that's the starting point. And I think that it is important to highlight their strengths and minimize maybe any weaknesses." Okay? And I think that's exactly what he did with Drew Brees. Drew's arm's not near as strong now. That last 4 or 5 years, this is what we know Drew can do well. I mean, think about if you had Drew Brees and dropped him on that Denver team with that defense. How many games does Denver win last year? 11? 12? I mean, we saw how good. I mean, look, he played in 12 games at 41 years old and won 9 of them. Drew Brees, that is. Went 9-3 as a starter. I mean, he was still flirting with coming back last year. Drew Brees, after taking a year off, thinking about coming back. Now, his arm wasn't nearly as strong, but he knew I could play a certain kind of game and win ball games probably, even at that age. We don't know that for sure. He may have fell off a cliff, but you get my point anyway. Russell Wilson's a lot younger, and he even went on the herd, Sean Payton, months ago, and famously told Cowherd exactly how he would fix him. He would let Russell just basically run a greatest hits of his most successful plays he's ever run. I think it's hilarious. He goes in there and says, "No, we're not doing that anymore. You're not bringing your personal cats into this building. You're not Tom Brady." All right? And that's the thing. And this all happened, Atlanta Falcons, the comeback in the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson was in attendance. It came out that Russell Wilson was very angry, felt like that he deserved to be in the Super Bowl and have people look at him and his brand in the way that they looked at Tom Brady. Well, no, man. Brady had won 5 Super Bowls at that point. 5. That gets you a lot more cred and the ability to bring in an Alex Guerrero with you in TB12, the method. You don't have nearly those kind of credentials to play off of to have Team 3 in the building. And Sean Payton just made that clear. It's not going to happen. We're done. Not happening. Shut your ego down, Russell Wilson. I like it. I can't wait for next season. There's a lot of interesting storylines. We haven't even got to free agency yet. We don't know where Aaron Rodgers is playing. We don't know what's going on with Derek Carr. Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, there's a lot of really fascinating things. Joe Montana come out and said Garoppolo should remain with the 49ers and start games. And the only thing I will say about that is, on this team, if Jimmy's healthy all year, you win 12 games. I'm just saying it. Just saying it. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.